If you like collecting and reading comic books, you are in the right place. Sit back, buckle up. It's New Comic Book Day. What's up, comic neighbors? Will you be my neighbor? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It's New Comic Book Day. Let's talk comic books here on the Comic Man Annie Comic Cave and Comic Dojo. We're feeling the vibes, spinning the tires. You know what we do on a Wednesday on live. We've got 2 weeks of comic books here, actually, because we were running deep, running hard through the comic convention weekend. And so we kind of took a little bit of a break last week where we weren't live, but we were still busy packing and getting ready to head out. So, I mean, if you think about what kind of we talked about in our goals in the past 2 weeks of comic books and just this stack, it means we're achieving our comic goals of not overspending, not buying too much, and not falling trap to some of our old habits where we're trying to be a little bit more responsible. But we're going to do what we usually do here tonight, and we're going to talk new comic books on New Comic Book Day. We're going to hit up the chat. We're going to take a look at the books. We're going to hit up the chat again, talk announcements as well, and we'll kind of go for about a half an hour tonight, and then we're going to be popping over, making an appearance on the Renovision channel tonight at 9:15. We'll be talking about the Motor City Comic Con, because that's in the announcements tonight too. But if you're not first, you're last. What's up, Dallas Suspense Buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate you each and every week. Was it New Comic Book Day? That's the question we kind of pose in the title, right? Right over there. Will new comic books be out? Because seriously, there was a news article, and I pray to God that nobody was hurt and nobody was injured, but there was a news article just the tail end of last week through this weekend about a large shipment of comic books in a truck crashing, and I believe it caught fire, ? I'm not sure exactly what happened, but it drastically affected the Diamond Distribution Center out of Pittsburgh or some area over there. And I don't know, I've been kind of keeping my ear to the rail, so to speak, seeing who hasn't gotten their comic books. So that's tonight's question is, will new comic books be out? As I keep looking at the title. And people are saying that they heard they burned. Rob Mitchell said they burned. Brian, good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for being here. Was very responsible today. Didn't buy a single book, he says. Ooh, there you go. Keeping that money in your pocket now for a little bit. But, oh, man. The Drew Manchu. Hey, baby. What's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. I wonder what you're reading lately on New Comic Book Day. What's got you heading to the LCS every week? If not every week, maybe every other week. But still, you guys know how we do it. We'll hit up the books. We'll continue hitting up the chat as the chat rolls in, and we'll do it one more time at the end for people showing up on the back side of things. Glenn Smith, you got yours in Tucson, Arizona. That's good to hear. I think it's just an East Coast thing. Just an East Coast thing. Luke's Comics, what is up, Andy, and the chat? Good to see you, brother. Thanks for being here. Drew is still reading X-Men. For those of you that don't know, Drew Manchu is a hardcore X-Men fan. Heard replacements would be out mid-June. Interesting. Mid-June. Things are going back to the printers then, huh? Yes, again, Glenn Smith, thanks for being here, man. As people continue to filter in, like we said, comic neighbors, will you be my neighbor? Yeah, let's hang out. Let's talk New Comic Book Day as we spin the good vibes. Yeah, we're definitely looking for good vibes. No problem for me on the East Coast, Brian says. Good to hear, man. Good to hear. Especially great to hang out with you over on the Comic Vets channel a little bit ago. But yeah, not bad for 2 weeks. But what does this also mean? Means we're not keeping up on our reading either. When we get busy for con season, there's lots of traveling needs to happen. Motor City was just this past weekend, so there'll be a few announcements about that. And Heroes Con is coming up in just 3.5, 4 short weeks. So we've got some traveling going on for that. But I'm not going to wait any longer. We're going to dip right into the books as people show up. Walking Dead Deluxe 63, I believe this was last week, not this week. And I will say it again as I say it every other week. I love reliving this series issue to issue in full color, because that was really my only complaint when the first series was coming out, or the first volume, not the first volume, but the series was coming out, was it was black and white. I grew up a massive zombie fan of George R. Romero's films and a lot of other films out there. So this was a no-brainer for me when it was coming out, but I wanted it in color, and here it is finally. So I love reliving this issue to issue. For sure. Speaking of issue to issue, the last issue of Little Monsters is out, issue 13. Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen, definitely a powerhouse comic creative team that you don't want to miss out. If you like Descender and Ascender, you'll like Little Monsters. I've got the last 2 or 3 issues to read, but hey, we're saving that for a nice little rainy day and buckling up for some good Lemire Nguyen. Then, speaking of like horror stories, still House of Slaughter, we're still on. And I don't think I'm going to keep going on this. I got to remember to drop this title. I have not read this in at least 5 or 6 issues. I'm not caught up. Maybe it gets better and I'll re-add it. But sticking with Tinian reads is something that I wanted to do. I just don't feel like I'm as interested in House of Slaughter as I was. Something is killing the children. So we're probably going to end up dropping that one. Biggie brother, what is up, man? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. It says, yo, Andy. Just doing new comic book day like normals. We're going to spin through this. We're looking for some energy. We're kind of beat up and kind of tired after running to the show, having a lot of other things going on. We were up late last night talking on Comics News Weekly with some interesting topics. CBCS stepping up to the plate, money back guarantee or a money back promise. Finding out a little bit about that. If you hadn't heard, CBCS is offering money back on your grading fees if they don't get your books graded within a certain window, which is kind of shocking to hear considering everything that's been going on in the last couple of years with anything comic grading. But next up on the list from IDW is TMNT Usagi Jumbo number 3. I'm taking all of the covers out of this. I got to be responsible and keep it to just cover A for the time being. I almost dipped into the ratio variant today because the ratio was only $7.99. Only $7.99 for like a 1 in 10. Like that just seems really cheap for such a great cover, a great incentive cover. Nonetheless, we'll keep our eyes peeled. We'll see what continues to happen with that. Speaking about keeping our eyes peeled and seeing what happens as we go, Time Before Time issue 23 is now out. Now, M3 Lions, brother, you've got me sticking with this to see where it goes because he specifically said that his title has gotten better. And just by looking at this cover, I can see where he's going with that comment. And I want to get caught up on this, but I'm in the fashion of, I'm stuck in this zone of, I got to find the other issues now. I'm back to basically having stacks of books on a table, and I'm going to have to spend a good solid weekend or two between now and the next convention of sorting, organizing, and getting things so that I can get caught up on the last 5 or 6 issues on certain series, especially Time Before Time, because I was having a hard time staying interested. Now I'm interested on getting back into it after what M3 Lines has said. What's the window? Setting to CBCS tomorrow for SIG authentication for grading. It's right on the CBCS's front page of their website. And see if we can pull that up. It's right there. Oh, yep. You just got to click on that. Wait, where did it go? Where did it go? How is it not here? Wait a second. There it is. Money back promise. We'll cover this really quick because that's what we love talking anything comic books. And I implore you guys to check out last night's show on Comic News Weekly for that bigger, longer form discussion that we had about the CBCS money back promise. They are offering during the month of May. CBCS is sharing the fruits of our team's success with a special money back promise on all CBCS orders. You'll get your books back within the time allotted, or your order is on us. We're back on track, they say. Turnaround times now as low as 30 days for standard service. Applies to all orders placed between 5/1 and 6/9. So even though we've only got a couple of weeks left, as long as you get your order submitted in time for that, it can be subject to that window. It says refund is only valid on grading fees, just the grading fees. Service levels are counted in business days. Issues with payment or submission forms will void turnaround time. Submission starts the first business day after the order is received. This is a big deal because we've all talked about how long grading companies will sit on a box of books. You know what I mean? Like you could completely miss this window if you don't get something shipped out right now. So Rob, I hopefully that box gets opened immediately when it gets there and you get inside of that window. But man, if they pull some of the things that have been pulled by grading companies in the past where they sit on boxes on their shipping dock for 2 or 3 months, who knows what's going to happen with this? Failure for CBCS to ship orders by turnaround time deadline will result in grading refund. Excludes pressing, VSP, and comic magazines. CBCS is not responsible for delays in return shipping once orders have shipped from our office. Applicable online, in-office, or drop-offs and at shows. Here's another interesting thing. For dealers and retailers, please contact our sales team for more information. Essentially, AKA dealers and retailers, you are excluded from this is basically what it sounds like. I'm like, contact our sales team for more information. Either they're going to do something where they offer some sort of a credit, but they're not going to give 100% money. I would be shocked if CBCS offers on 100% money back promise for dealers and retailers. You're going to submit 1,000 books and they're going to get that done in that window. And if they don't, like, there's got to be a limit, a cap, or some sort of limiter cap, valid until June 9th, like we talked about. So there you go, Rob. Great question. Thank you so much. I implore you guys to check out last night's show on Comic News Weekly. We had a great discussion. It ran a little bit long. I love it when we get into a bit of a disagreement and we kind of work our way through it and kind of converse on what potentially different habits, different styles, different preferences. Like, that's part of the thing. It's okay to disagree. It's not okay to not talk it out and talk it through. And we had a great time last night. So give this a good look. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment, because there you go. Comic News Weekly right down there. CBCS gets serious. Motor City Comic Con recap. Like I said, we had a blast with that. Lots of fun there. And yeah, we'll get back into the books now. That's definitely a whole nother show that we could talk more about grading comic books for sure, with CGC and or CBCS and or PGX and EGC, or yes, I got to remember the rest of the alphabet soup there. There's a lot going on there. Ryan the Gray, good to see you, man. It was even better seeing you at Motor City this past weekend, and thanks for spending the time to hang out and talk, man. I really appreciate it. Kenneth Birdman, hey everyone, is here tonight. Good to see you. So yeah, back at it, the books. Predator issue 3 is out, and I'm a sucker for anything Aliens and Predator. I'll continue to buy it and add it to the reading pile if I don't have time to read it. Generally, Aliens and Predator books are a much quicker read than you would think, and they're not too bad. So falling behind on those should not be really much of an issue. Bounty Hunters issue 34, like we said, there are some books from last week, including the Predator book. Bounty Hunters 34 is out, and I actually enjoyed this cover B a lot more than I thought I would. I saw it online, and I'm like, man, a yellow cover. And I really appreciate what people say when they say that they collect specifically yellow cover books, because it looks phenomenal in person. And I can't remember if this is kind of an homage to a New Mutants cover or not. I don't think it's too loosely collected there to be an actual homage of it. But anything with IG-88 on it is a solid cover, in my opinion. With IG-88, a lot of droid covers. I love droid covers. I should collect droid covers specifically. But when you're buying everything Star Wars, who's going to segregate everything into droid covers only? We've got it all already, anyways. Issue 34 again, the 40th anniversary. Return of the Jedi. I'm digging these scenes. I like it, and I'm already halfway through collecting all of them. So we're gonna keep going and make a set out of it and see how that goes. Maybe we can put it together and see how it kind of fits. Like, it's not a connecting cover, but we'll see what happens there. Definitely reminds you of New Mutants 87 as well. It's kind of what I was trying to think about the issue number, but it's not quite a full homage. Bounty Hunters, again, issue 34 has cover 4 of 6 for Solo, the 5th anniversary of Solo, and I'm digging the way they're kind of doing these borders. I think this is a much better done border than like the Sprouse variants. Even the Sprouse variants I liked a lot. I like the way the color fades on this quite a bit more. So yeah, more Star Wars, and we're always buying more Star Wars, and I gotta get out of this. I love collecting and reading Star Wars. I gotta branch out, so I'm really interested in hearing what you guys are picking up and reading this week and what I shouldn't be missing, because I missed out on a few books this week. There are definitely some books that I missed out, and I'd love to hear what you guys are picking up, because we have more Star Wars. This is the Nameless Terror, Star Wars High Republic Adventures, issue 4, actually. 4 of 4, last issue there. And then more Star Wars. Darth Vader Black, White, and Red issue 2 is out. I'm going to be digging into this one tonight. The first issue was fun short reads, some of it a little wonky and a little weird, but definitely digging this. And my cover pick of the week is out of Darth Vader Black, White, and Red number 2. The unfortunate side of things is to talk about it. we've got to pull up League of Comic Geeks because we did not have any of the La Roca covers available. If you had not seen the La Roca variant, here it is. This was my cover pick of the week, the black, white, and red La Roca, and it is absolutely stunning. It is one of the probably in the top 10 Vader covers that I would have in my collection. I'm going to be ordering this off of online. That's essentially what I'm going to be doing, or checking a couple other LCSs in the area. Either way, I'm sad that this did not hit my shop at all, or the couple that probably did just went right to pull boxes, and I kind of lucked out. There are a lot of Star Wars collectors at my LCS, so if they get shorted on books, there are times because of when I got into that queue of Star Wars collectors with the LCS, I might not get everything if they get shorted on books. That's my cover pick of the week, to be honest with you. And it's a $3-4. It's a cover price book on eBay and other places. I don't know what the print run is going to be like. I don't think the Darth Vader black, white, and red is any sort of a key at all. I've not read it. Don't believe it's going to be a key. It's essentially short stories, and books that are just short stories in there never really tend to do well on the long term as far as gaining value in the secondary market. I think this book is going to be cheap forever. I think it's a great, enjoyable La Roca cover that you can add to your collection for cover price. Cover price. And if you want a graded copy, pre-order one for $40 or $50 somewhere, or grab this and do it yourself. Either way, this is a fantastic Vader cover for any Star Wars collector out there, in my opinion. I'm absolutely in love with it. Definitely going to be making sure I get that on the way. And then if you're getting that, then you probably also picked up the 1 in 25 Declan Shelby variant, which is nice. Not as nice as the La Roca, in my opinion. I think the La Roca should have been in the 1 in 25. If the La Roca was a 1 in 25, I think they would have hit a home run on. That would be a book that would hold a minimum of ratio value over time if the La Roca hit the 125. The Shelby 1 in 25, I did pay full ratio for this at $24.99. I think this will be a book that you'll be able to pick up for just under ratio, maybe half, like $15 to $18 in 3 to 6 months. So if you're willing to wait it out, look for a good deal in 3 to 6 months for this. If you gotta complete that Vader run. And then something interesting to talk about as we're still into the Star Wars books as we finish out this week's books. What's up, JLS? Good to see you. Thanks for being here, man. Sycotron's here as well. And we'll get back into the chat as we get down to the last couple of books here. Star Wars High Republic Volume 2, Issue 10 is out. Face Off at Jeddah. And interestingly enough, have not heard anything from the community about this book at all this week. Don't believe it's a key. Don't believe it's a cameo. Don't believe anything. I don't believe there's anything going on in this book besides being a decent story. Yet this book was almost completely sold out of my LCS. My LCS does really good job stocking Star Wars books. But this book, of all the books this week, this was the one that had one copy left in the children's section and one copy left in the standard Marvel section. Now, granted, there was a couple of copies of cover B, but for a non-key, non-discussed, non-talked about book in the comic community, why at my LCS was it almost completely sold out by 4 p.m.? So I'm curious what you guys are thinking, what you guys have seen when you catch the replay on this, either tonight, tomorrow, or later on, when you go to your LCSs. Did this book sell out for you guys too? Was there something going on that we have not talked about or had not seen in the community before? But either way, it takes a little bit to get a book to sell out at my LCS. Even the books that have a tremendous amount of discussion going on a topic, and then people build FOMO on books, they're still usually there. But for this to be almost sold out is kind of surprising. So I'm curious to see what's going on in that tonight as we sit down and read that. And with the cover B we did get that. I had two or three copies left of that on the shelf. So we got the cover B, and then we also got the 1 in 25 U variant. And we did pay, did we pay full ratio? No, we did not pay full ratio. $10 under ratio. So that's pretty awesome right there. That tells me that my LCS does a really good job paying attention to what's going on in a lot of the books. And if it's under ratio and it's a Star Wars book, it's probably not a key. But I think anything as a ratio book for Star Wars, if you're paying half ratio or under on New Comic Book Day, I think that's a great deal. I think this is more what the book will be worth in 3 to 6 months' time than if I paid full ratio for it. That's why when I pay full ratio for any book on New Comic Book Day, I'm like, Am I paying it because I think it's going to be worth it in time, or am I paying it because I got to have it right now to talk about it or to look at it or to have it and say, hey, I got it and I secured a copy and I don't have to hunt for one? Remember, when it comes to pricing comic books, it's sometimes is about the time versus money value, right? Some people have less time available and are willing to sacrifice a little bit more money so that they keep that time with their friends and the family. Other people have a different amount of time available and they're willing to go out and hunt, and they're willing to go out and spend a little bit more time looking for books at better deals. Hey, both ways are correct. There's not really a wrong way to go about picking up books. If you're overpaying for books, then that's your prerogative, and you probably have your reasoning for it. Some people don't condone it, other people do. The thing is it's a preference. Having preferences and having differences is okay. That's fair. We'll lean a little hard on preferences tonight as I kind of go over some topics that a discussion that I've been having with another individual. But that's the last book of the week. We're definitely going to get into the chat here. And as we get into the chat, we'll talk announcements too. Don't forget, it is previews week. So if you're like me and you like to flip through previews at work over your lunch break or some other time, make sure you grab yourself a copy of Previews book. But what we also got in today that we special ordered was a treat that I had picked up for the CEO of the dojo, and that was the most recent Star Wars Insider with the Ahsoka cover. We got a couple of these ordered from the LCS because when we got there, they were sold out. They were still available for them to order, but then this cover was the one I was really after, kind of like a Mondo poster kind of looking cover. I don't know what the availability is like. I don't know what the availability is like online on the secondary market, but I know I'd prefer to support my LCS and order for my LCS because I'm going to get it for cover price. I want to pay secondary pricing or shipping. So those are some slick little Star Wars mags to add to the CEO's collection because she absolutely loves Ahsoka, and as you guys know, she cosplays as Ahsoka. So those are all of the books. We've got a couple of packages here that we can unbox at a later time. So stay tuned on Instagram for some pictures about some new pickups that we did grab, and we want a giveaway. We want a substantial giveaway that's going to go in the community giveaway box as we talk about announcements. And I'll post about that potentially. Yeah, I'll post about it tomorrow. I'll make sure we've got something available, so we post about it tomorrow. It's a bigger book that's going to hit the community giveaway box, and I'm excited that we want it, that we can pass that along and pass that forward back to the community, because we have this Friday night, 9:00. We are scheduling. It's not quite scheduled yet, but we will schedule the next CGC unboxing, the next blind unboxing, because we've got issues 2 through 12 of the Clone Wars graded back, and we are shooting for a full run for our registry collection. And I'm really pumped. And no, I'm not. I'm really anxious because I know there's at least one book that's not going to hit, for sure not going to hit 9.8. And I don't know if we're going to see continued consistency from CGC. The last 2 unboxings have been decent. The 2 or 3 before that, not so much. Not really good experiences. And I'm hoping that we get some more consistency out of the grading and handling process, and we can continue to share that and unbox that live. And I'm blind to the grades. I have no idea what the grades are going to be. You guys know that we're just at Motor City Comic Con, and that set that we're going to unbox this Friday, issue 1 from that set went to us to Motor City Comic Con, and we got a double signed by Ashley Eckstein and Matt Lanner. And we are really excited that it's been witnessed and it's going off to get graded. So that book belongs in this set that we're going to unbox of issues 2 through 12. And that's going to be this Friday night, 9 p.m. And we are going to do a community giveaway. I'm really nervous. I'm also excited because this is a little adventure of getting that whole Clone Wars run done and graded and on a registry is one of the bigger things that we're working on for this year. Also, Kanan is something we'd really like to finish our Kanan running, get a chunk of that graded. The reader grade copies that we have are fantastic, but they're not worth spending the money to grade. Finding really high quality copies of that has been a little bit more finding them affordably has been difficult, is what I mean to say. But we're still in it with the chat. JLS saying hi to everybody. Grab that Shelby for 10. That's a hell of a deal right there. We paid $24.99 and you grabbed it for 10. That's a hell of a deal. It's probably realistically a 1 in 25 that's going to land in that $10 range, to be fair. 10, 14 bucks. Everybody, hey, Perry Gaming, what is up, man? Good to see you. He says, hola, maybe because it's the last issue of phase 2. Hmm. 10 volume 2 issue 10 was the last issue? Interesting. I gotta get spun back up and kind of figure that out. If it is the last issue, I'm glad we got the 1 in 25 of that. He is chilling. Kennedy gave a hint about using material from High Republic comics. Yeah, I know Kennedy kind of gave a hint, but Aaron in the community chats, the bulk of the community, what 2-3 years ago, when the discussion started happening about Star Wars High Republic hitting Marvel and coming out, it pretty much confirmed everybody's suspicion about Marvel and or DC, the bigger companies, basically creating comic book series to seed streaming media movies going forward. So it's becoming more manufactured, which I think is killing some of the love and killing some of the not hype, but I think people are kind of like, well, comic collecting and reading might kind of lose a little bit of its luster and love if you realize that it's just being manufactured for the purpose to be there and for streaming media. If it's not organically created, I think some people are feeling a little bit slighted about that, and I don't disagree with them. I'm still going to collect and read Star Wars stuff because I'm a Star Wars junkie. And yeah, she did drop that hint, but I feel like we've been talking about this for several years that this big run of High Republic stuff from Marvel is the first really big slingshot moment into a larger publisher or a larger comic book company producing a comic run of comic books specifically to live and exist to be fodder for streaming media. Or at least we have proof, or you know what I mean? I could sit there and beat myself up all night long about not having the correct vernacular, not being fully spun up, but a gut feeling is a gut feeling, and we've been talking about that for quite some time. That's what's up. I'm talking about you a few days ago. Wonder where you've been. Motor City Comic Con, man. Or he was talking about Drew. He was talking about Drew just chilling, living real life, brother. My online presence is, in a word, underwhelming. But you, sir, are not underwhelming. We love you and admire you, and look forward to having you around in the community still nonetheless. Double O, speaking of announcements, Double O and I are going to be on Renovision channel tonight and about 20 minutes. We're going live over on the Renovision channel because we are going to talk Motor City Comic Con. We're going to talk a couple other things. I'm really excited. So we're going to keep moving along so that we don't run too long on that. Long time no see, absolutely. Did you say Star Wars Inside Her? Star Wars Insider, yes. That's funny. Yes, anything Star Wars Insider that has Ahsoka on it, I'm trying to collect for the CEO of the dojo. She loves that. Those expensive issues, the very, very, very early issues that have Ahsoka from Clone Wars on there. I'm not just gonna go on eBay and drop the coin if I don't have to. You know what I mean? At one point in the height of the market, those were pulling some really crazy bucks. Come on, Mama's in the house. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Oh yeah, can't wait for you to whip some of those packages out. In fact, we'll do that. We'll open as just a send off for tonight. I'll show you guys what we're adding to the community box for this Friday for the giveaway as everybody's hanging out. Ahsoka books are awesome. What's cooking, everybody? John's Comics with Kids. What is up, brother? We all needed the good vibes, and here is John tonight with some more good vibes, and Ryan and everybody else in the chat. Would you buy that Ahsoka Insider cover if you aren't a Star Wars guy? No. I'll be honest with you, no. Star Wars Insiders books very rarely hold a substantial amount of value. They're printed quite heavily. They're magazine size. They're hard to store. They get beat up. I think the really early Ahsoka ones carry some secondary value that might be interesting for people that are looking to do a little speculation, or if you're buying older collections and flipping through anything early Ahsoka could carry some value if you're trying to put a value on like a collection that you're looking at and considering buying. But no, I probably wouldn't buy these if we weren't big Star Wars fans. That's literally Star Wars Insider. It's a magazine specifically for Star Wars fans with Star Wars news. And the covers are just fun, and she likes to put them up around her office, at work, and her crafting rooms. And I don't even think we're going to bother getting any of those big magazines graded. Yeah, hi, Mama and Perry. Whipping out packages is what Annie's best. So we're going to do that right now. And we've got a couple of them. But more importantly, we've got one box from a fellow community member we're about to get into. Zuni with the $5 super chat. It's a perfect opportunity to say that the year 2023 is that of the comic community. All super chats, all super stickers, everything goes back into the community. It's staying in the fund right there. And at the tail end of the year, we're going to compile it all together and buy several graded comic books to do as a giveaway. If we can afford Silver Age keys, we're going to put it all on Silver Age keys. If we can do something else, we're going to try to find something cool that people will be interested in, right? Because nobody really is totally into all the stuff that we're doing here, but we're going to make it fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And no need to be sorry for being late. You're arriving exactly when you mean to arrive, when you want to be here, and everybody's saying hi. So yes, again, the channel is no longer monetized. The channel is monetized, but we are not putting commercials. There just doesn't seem to be a point. You guys, I don't feel get any value out of that, and it doesn't seem to be gaining any traction to build money in there to give back to the community. So super chats and super stickers are where it's at to build money for the community. That's what we're going to be doing, and we're going to be looking at a membership at some point soon. I don't know if it'll be done in time for this year because we're halfway through the year already. We're almost halfway through the year. Good gravy. That's ridiculous to think about. Your son Cash is in here watching me. He says, hey, Andy. He's been watching your videos now. Proud dad moment. He's 8 and really into comic books. That is awesome, Luke, man. I can't wait for my little man to get there, too, at some point. It was the last issue of the run. Issue 10 was the last issue of Volume 2. So that is why maybe it was either under-ordered or there was a bit of a run on it. Would you buy that Ahsoka Insider cover if you aren't a Star Wars guy? Like I said, no, I probably wouldn't. The CEO here being more of a Star Wars fan herself, that's what I bought him for a Mother's Day gift. They just arrived quite a bit later than I anticipated. The spec collectability lives in the Dark Horse stuff outside of the Rebels characters and possibly Aphra. Yeah, I would agree with that, man. Now, this is why we have these discussions. These things come up. If you are building your collection and you're a massive Star Wars fan, now is probably a really good time to pay really close attention to things like Dr. Aphra and Rebels and Clone Wars. Short of Ahsoka, obviously Ahsoka's a trending character because of the show, but a lot of other things. Aphra, you can get Aphra books on the cheap now compared to last year. I mean, that first appearance of Dr. Aphra, I've seen priced at $150 for a raw book at a convention. You can get a graded 9.8 for like $200 right now. The book is down, and that's a good thing because that provides opportunities for the community members to pick up books that they love. Mark, what is up, brother? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. I actually got a shipment of new comics on New Comic Book Day. I'm so excited. She says, holy moly. Yes, you're very welcome. And Backwoods Collector, what is up? We are running a little short on time tonight, so we're not going to go back over the books again. Please watch the replay on this and come back. It's a short show. We're going over to the Renovision channel next for a recap of Motor City Comic Con. And but we got to get out. We got to get this out. We got to share this. We won this. Surprisingly, we won this on a channel right before we left for Motor City. And we just entered, and it's usually one of those things where it's like if we enter or win, we're like, hey, say pay it forward, give it to the next person, spin that wheel again, whatever. But I just knew that the name landed, and I'm like, nuh-uh, we've got to do this. So this is the first ever graded copy. First ever. There we go. The first ever graded copy. Let me say that again. The first ever Brazilian edition, free comic book day edition, graded ever of Something is Killing the Children #1 in a CGC 9.4. And we won this from Aaron Yee. And this goes in the community giveaway box this Friday. We're going to see if somebody wins this. There's like 15 slabs in that community giveaway box. And we'll see what's going on and see who wins that. I'm excited. Excited that just the name Comic Man Andy landed. It's like, yeah, we won. Let's give it away. All right. We're adding that to the community box. Like we said, pretty stoked to see that go down. Aaron Yee was giving it up for the community, so we're going to carry it forward and keep giving it up for the community like we do every time we do a blind unboxing. And I'm pretty excited because this was the first ever copy of this graded with CGC. And it says right there on the top, first appearance of Erica Slaughter. Super cool. And yeah, what do you guys think? Is that a book worth winning out of the community giveaway? I think so. Absolutely. So we'll set that aside. It'll hit the community giveaway box. Stay in touch on Instagram and YouTube. We are going to be dropping more shorts content as StreamYard and some other avenues have made it really nice and convenient to pull content from long form live feed that we do. And I think I've been having some fun messing around with some shorts. If you guys saw the Ahsoka short that we did recently for Tano Tuesday, and kind of figuring some things out and kind of getting reinvigorated to do a little bit of editing. So that's what we're going to be doing going forward a little bit. So stay tuned for that. You saw that on the replay. It was great. Yes. That's New Comic Book Day. I'm Comic Man Andy. You guys are my comic neighbors. So will you be my neighbor? Is that a new good sign off? I don't know. Probably not. But yeah. Appreciate you guys. We are actually going to make sure that we drop the Renovision link really quick so that you guys know where we're going. I should have set it up to actually send this stream over to Renovision as soon as they went live. We could have stayed on, and then it would have went direct over to you guys. Notifications on. There it is. It's coming up in just about 8 minutes. And here we are sharing the link right over to you guys. He said work on that one. We will continue to work on that one like we work on everything else. Won't you be my neighbor? He says, absolutely not. Sicko says comic fam. I'm not going to lie. I was actually online researching other ways to other descriptive terms for community, just to use some other different openings when we open up and start shows. I thought it'd be funny. So I'm like, yeah, will you guys be my neighbor? And I'm like, we need a little more we need a little more Mr. Rogers back in the neighborhood everywhere, whether it be on YouTube or Instagram. This comic community needs more great vibes, more great feelings. So yeah, not gonna lie. Will you be my neighbor? Yes, that's how we're gonna do it. There's the link for Renovision right there. Crew, gang, fam. He says, absolutely, man. Love you guys too. Love you, Drew, man. Longtime OG friend. Drew, I've known for 4 or 5 years now, maybe even 5 or 6. Moving out, if that's the sign off. I'm moving out. Moving on up. But either way, that's New Comic Book Day. We're heading over to Renovision. The link is in the chat. Make sure you give Renovision a thumbs up and a like. We'll be over there for a little bit, and then we're going to go crash and call it another day tomorrow. But you guys know how we do this, right? We're going to go peace out. We're going to go piggies out. We're going to catch you all on the flip side for the next one. But just remember, the most important part all day, every day, each and every day is you are enough. And don't forget to stay original, because you're all we've got. And that's the most important part. Take care of each other, because we literally are all we have on this green earth, and enjoy it. Enjoy every minute. And we'll see y'all guys on the next one, right? Have a great night, everybody. Find those good vibes.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.
Excuse me while I change. The holler boogie has made me sweaty. Yeah, sweaty.